bike for 3 weeks. That's very rare for me. Sometimes 2 weeks, but yeah, very rare that I wouldn't be out on the bike at some stage for 3 weeks. But I've been working on the Tenere. Pretty happy where it's at now. I know the term bike build is used pretty loosely these days, but I think we'll call it the bike build complete. So as I usually do, I'll go for a Sunday cruise and probably pull up somewhere and have a bit of a chat about the bike, as you do. Been working a lot, stressing a lot. I got to find another way to make a living, I think. And so yeah. But anyway, we're out on the bike now. Let's all be positive and enjoy the ride. To get out, just cruising over to the coast. It's a good way to spend a Sunday afternoon. A very nice way. It's actually surprising, it's quite sunny, but the temperature's quite cold. But then again, we're only a couple of days from winter, so to be expected. Yeah, g'day guys, Steve from Dirt Bike and Old As Adventures, out on a Sunday cruise. Finally sort of finished off my bike and I thought I'll take it out for a cruise. It's Sunday afternoon, probably just going to go find somewhere for a coffee, but pulled up at this lookout. It's a beautiful spot here. You can see Bass straight down there over the top of Inverloch. You've got Wonthaggi that way, Leongatha over there, Inverloch straight down here. So yeah, beautiful part of the world, and it's a lovely day. But pretty happy with the bike now. Just finished the decals or the stickers this morning. They were from OD Graphics in the Ukraine, and very happy with their products. Very good quality product. I bought the very heavy, thick decals, so they're very hard to work with, and you do end up with a few creases and folds that you have to live with because they're so thick and there's so many bends. But bike looks good. I've done a couple of other things to it, but I'm feeling like it's sort of finished now. Oh, well, not sort of. The only thing really that I might work on is the seat. So yeah, but other than that, I'm feeling like the bike's finished and ready to go. Just got to get a little bit of time off work. Work's still busy. Went up and visited my son, who's working in a state at the moment. So yeah, just life's busy. Haven't been out on the bike for 3 weeks, so very unusual for me. So I thought I'd have a bit of a walk around the bike and just have a bit of a discussion about what I've done. As I said, it's been a bit of a learning curve buying this bike. I didn't realise that these were so much of a touring bike. They really are a touring bike, and the more YouTube clips I watch on them, you see a lot of people travelling the world, 2 people, and you go, yep, that's what they're designed for. So yeah, a little bit taken back. Certainly this one is not a dual sport. But certainly with the single cylinder it has some advantages over something like the T7. So yeah, but obviously the first one being a little bit lighter, and the second one is just a little bit easier to work on, and if you drown this bike it's very easy to uncork it, whereas a guy I was watching the other day said the T7's 20 bolts just to get the tank off, and you need to physically get the tank off to get to the spark plug. So just some little things like that. This probably makes this bike a little bit more off-road orientated, but certainly a very good base for a touring bike and a little bit of off-road. So what have I done to the bike? Okay, so A lot of it's pretty well stock, but just added my personal touches, so to speak. So these are the stock handbars and hand guards that come on it. Everything's stock up on here. Stock mirrors. The mirrors are really good. I just can't get over the quality of those mirrors. Obviously, I've just put my Aspira X9 or A9, whatever it is, up on the handlebars with the quad lock. That's just my navigation phone and my backup phone. I've got my phone in my tank bag over there. I've taken the tank bag off just so you can see the bike. So that's just a quad lock with a vibration mount up there. Nothing unusual there. I've put these little steady STEDI steady lights up the front there. They're really good, cheap. They're only $45 each, and I think every bit as good as the Denalies, the Denalies, and the all the other different brands. I can't think what they are now. So obviously I've put those on, and I've wired those direct to the battery. Now the reason being is when you want to pull into camp and you just want to sit there, you don't want the bike running, you can just turn them on and give yourself a bit of light to set the camp up or set the tent up and that sort of stuff. But also too, when you're looking around for something and you've left a torch in the tent, you can sort of turn those on. You don't have to find the key to the ignition or anything like that. Obviously the Givy or the Jivy bash plate down there, just something a little bit more solider and robust than the standard stone guard. I'm only calling the bash plate that came on the Tenere a stone guard. It was really weak, and the way it fixed to the frame was really quite weak, so not very strong at all. This one's not a super heavy duty one, but I'm really not expecting to take this bike too far off-road. It's a touring bike, and according to that, I won't be going down Billy Goat's Bluff or those sorts of roads, so I'm not sort of expecting to get this bike bashed up too much, so to speak. There's the spark plug in there. How easy is it to uncork this bike if you drown it? 10 times easier than a lot of the bikes on the market. It came with the pivot pegs and the extended brake pedal there, which are really good. Probably wouldn't buy the pivot pegs again. I prefer firm pegs. That's just a welding rod tube, so I've just made up a little tool tube in there. So I've got my tie levers and a bike pump and some bits and pieces in there and tools. This does come with a little spot underneath the tank there for the standard Yamaha toolkit, so I've sort of changed that up, mixed it up a little bit, and but that's still underneath there. Now probably the biggest change I've made is in the rear end. If you watch the channel at all, you realise that I cut the subframe here. This seat and rear rack is actually 100mm high, 100mm lower than the stock bike, which is quite bizarre when you think about it. It looks quite normal now, but that's normally sitting up there, 100mm, about 105mm. I dropped it, so I've just cut the subframe there, just cut through the bottom web, and then the top one I cut 3/4 of the way and just let it fall and just welded it back up and repainted it. So that's just made the bike a much sexier looking bike and a much more practical looking bike. The rears on these are really high and therefore a very high centre of gravity. So as you can see, I reckon it looks 10 times better now. So that's the major change. Obviously, as I said, I've put a tool canister here. There's normally a double exhaust and a catalytic converter that goes up in there. I've got rid of that and put a single exhaust. But also too, I got rid of the whole plastic deal that was hanging down here. There's a metal support plate for that plastic, so I've left that there and just Sikaflexed a little mud flap on there just to keep the muck and the stuff out of the back of the tail light there. And I've put a much smaller little tail light there with the indicators connected to that, so they're right up out of the way. So yeah, that's just a much neater system. The actual proprietary system comes down, halfway down to the tyre, so very, very ugly, really big, heavy plastic thing. So that's just a little alloy one I bought off eBay. And of course the last thing I've done is just put a Barrett exhaust, a single exhaust on it. As I said, big catalytic converter sits underneath the seat there, massive thing. It weighs about 4 or 5 kilos. These Barrett exhausts are an Australian product, and just convert it to a single exhaust, and that's basically it. Put a little exhaust protector there just to if I have a pillion passenger, they got a little protection for their ankle. But yeah, that's basically it. So that's the XT660 Tenere. all but done. Just looking forward to some big rides coming up whenever I can get work back under control. But anyway guys, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to look for a latte and just see where I end up. What's happened to my beautiful sunshine? Certainly the air temperature's getting a little bit colder. It's one of the things about riding motorbikes, isn't it? You're out in the elements. You've got your jackets on, your gloves and your helmet and all that sort of stuff, but it's one of the things I like. If you're cold, you have to suffer. If you're hot, you have to suffer. You can be driving along in a car, push a button or even have climate control on. Very much a luxurious way to travel. But on a motorbike, you're out in the elements. Kind of what I like. The coastal, what are we going to call Inverloch? The coastal, what's the name for a town on the coast? Cosmopolitan I use too much. The trendy coastal resort of Inverloch. Everyone will be packing up, I dare say now. All the cafes, yeah, packing up there. Everyone's heading home. That one's packed up, or nearly packed up. We might be able to get something from the bakery, maybe. So there we go. A very moody looking waterway at the moment. Tide's on the way out. Actually looks like thunderheads over there, but nowhere near hot enough for that. But yeah, very closed in and moody looking. I think that's my cue to head for home. Nearly 4 o'clock, takes me an hour to get home from here, so I think we'll be on it. Cue the music, something pensive, something that makes you think.